Welcome back. So, this is going to be the seventh video of this series, and this is going to be all about transition, how to add transition to your shorts or reels. When it comes to transitions, you can do two things. You can either download some transitions from the internet, you can just Google it, find some on Google, then download them, import them in DaVinci Resolve, create a different folder for it, add it on your timeline. You can do that. But what I'm going to do in this one is I'm going to show you how to do that from scratch. So like I said, everything we've been doing so far has been from scratch, except for getting the assets and the sound effects from, and even the footage from the internet. But everything else we've tried to do everything in DaVinci Resolve. So I mean, we can't create sound effects. It's not easy to create sound effects, nor the assets, nor do we have time to create the assets. But transitions are something you can do that in DaVinci Resolve very easily, and you can end up creating something very unique. So with that being said, let's just dive in. So for this one, what I like to do is just create a fusion composition right here. So let's add a new fusion composition. Let's type in light transition. And let's change the duration from 5 to, let's keep this at 0 and then this one at 10. So let's hit create. And now you can also create a new bin called transitions where you can move this one. Okay, and let's move on to transitions and double click this, and this will take you to the fusion composition. Now, the reason we're doing it, we're creating a separate file right here is so that we can reuse it. So for this one, let's just drag in a background, connect this with the media out. And so let's change the type to gradient and let me just hide myself now. So the gradient over here, I'm going to change this to white and then this one to maybe yellow, something like this. And now let's add a blur node and change this all the way to 100 and also add this color curves. Now we're going to use these color curves to animate this. First of all, change the mode to animated color correct and then create a keyframe at 0 right here. And now you can just move this all the way to the end or somewhere around here and just move this right here and you will see that this will disappear. So let's move this down and this one down as well. Perfect. Now let's move on to 2 frames and move this up right here and move this to the side. And then at 3, we can just move around a little bit more. Then we can do, at 4, we can just go back to 0 opacity, something like this. Then at 5, we can just go back to yellow maybe. So let's move into more yellow direction. Then at 6, little bit white, 7, more yellow. And then finally at 8, we're going to go all white. So something like this. And then at 9, we're just going to change this back to transparent. So let's see how this looks. First of all, let me just go over here and let's move this down a little bit. Okay, and now let's drag in this transition right here. So let me move 5 frames back and then move this right here. And if you play this,
understand brain development
perfect. So you can see we have a nice looking transition
and
now.
brain development. Understand brain development.
Perfect. And for the sound effect that we did in the previous videos, you can go over to audio and just drag in this click right here. And then where is the transition? Let me see right here. So let's move this right here. And I will add a cut right here. And then just move this right here. So if you play this now,
Brain and brain
okay, let me play this again.
and brain.
Perfect. So now what we can do here is just copy this and move it to the next
I
one.
was like, I do.
So let's go over here and just copy this right here. So let's move this right here and let's move 5 frames back and then position this right here.
I think
Perfect. And again, I'm going to just copy the sound effect from here, move this right here. So over here, let's move this right here.
I think I do. I think there are many things that
Perfect. So what about this one? Okay, we can do one here as well. Move this right here. And let's also move this here as well. So basically I'm copy pasting by using Alt on the keyboard.
just to say this. I mean, I'm
Perfect. And finally this one here, I'm just going to
I
delete this.
absolutely
So this is how you can add
when
transitions.
you
So
start
this was just one transition we did. You can try and do something different with the same settings that I showed you. You can do slight differences. You can do that over here, create more transitions and use them, but I'm going to just settle for this one now. So I think this is it. We have added the transitions as well. We have added the sound effects as well. So I think we're done now. Now the last thing that's left to do is to export. So I'm going to create a separate video on how to export, what kind of export settings that you can use for your short form content, reels, YouTube shorts, etc. So this was it for this video, and I will see you in the final one.